All right, Shalom. Giving our praises, our glory, honors unto Yahweh, Bashmi Shai, Basham Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, 144,000. This is Brother Tazara of GMS Atlanta, back with another update to the Motb, which is coming soon, which is a physical device that will be inserted inside the human body. Pursuing the prophecy will go in your right hand or in your forehead, but it can also go in any other part of your body. And the judgment for taking that device in the future is judgment, death, and destruction from the Most High, Yahweh Bashmi Shai, who were ignorantly calls God in Jesus Christ, whose true names in the Hebrew are Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. This here is an article from Biometric Update, fairly recent article from about a week ago. And it says, Bridging America's Digital Identity Gap with Mobile Driver's Licenses. This is another step to the Motb with all of your credentials, all of your information, pretty much everything that anyone needs to do or will be able to do, whether it's your IDs, your medical information, your banking, your financial information will all be in one place. Okay? Because right now, especially here in America, pretty much everybody carries around a wallet or a purse with multiple cards, credit cards, your actual your driver's license, your ID cards, your school IDs, your college IDs, gift cards, everything is carried separate from your phone. But now what we have seen in the last 2 to 3 years is an exponential uptick in the capabilities of smartphones and what they're able to do with the number of different software updates that these phones are getting, whether it be Android, Samsung, Apple, Google, or whatever. The applications that these iPhones, these Galaxies, these different phones that they have is getting to a point to where pretty much everyone around the world is already living in a digital system. Okay? So let me read this here. It says, the fraud problem that has accompanied public services and benefits is well known. Now, this is how they're selling this point in these ID capabilities by saying, oh, it's fraud. People can hack into your information, fraud, this and that. And people do it, okay? But this is, the selling point for what they're saying here. It says the next step in clamping down on this fraud is also well understood in some places, but efforts and understanding are being held back in the U.S. by a difference in the country's identity infrastructure and arguably culture from countries in the European Union. And this is where the beast, which is prophesied in Revelation, the 13th chapter, comes into play. The beast is the reincarnated revival of the Roman Empire as a political power structure in the earth. Different governments that were once a part of the ancient Roman Empire are now a part of NATO and the EU, and also includes America, Canada, and other countries, okay? But it's a revival of the Roman Empire, which is known in the scriptures as the beast or the fourth beast, okay? And when it comes down to prophecy being fulfilled, the scripture says that the beast is going to introduce the charagma, which is the Greek word for Mark in Revelation 13 and 16, which is a physical cutting in the flesh, which will be the insertion of a physical device which will use digital technology for buying and selling. All right. Now, I said all that to say that most of these countries, such as it says here in Europe, are already conforming to a new way of life. They're already changing to national digital IDs. But here in America, the U.S., also known as Babylon the Great, is behind them. Okay, in adapting this new digital ID infrastructure. But that's changing. Okay. Now it says that, matter of fact, let me get the scripture. Let me go to Revelation 13 and let me just read a few verses. This is the beast from the sea. But let me read Revelation 13 and 11. It says, the beast from the earth, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth. That is a new empire. And he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. That is speaking on the democracy, the outward showing of peace and speaking peace. But when they actually institute their laws and enforce their ways, they actually speak as dragons. And eventually, they're going to introduce martial law here in this country. But they have the appearance of a peaceable, likable way of life, but they're really about war. Okay, which is draconian or dragon-like. And this is speaking about, like I said, the empire of Rome coming back in the form of NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. It says, and he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him. So NATO, just like Rome did in the past, is exercising all the ancient power and the ways of Rome from 2,000 years ago. It says, and causes the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast whose deadly wound was healed. So now the world is following the ways, pretty much the ways of Rome, having a Senate, voting, democracy. Many countries around the world have a voting every couple of years to put in their different leaders of the governments. So that's part of the power of the first beast, which Rome was wounded because it fell out of power, but then it was revived during the time of the Renaissance, in the time of the late 1300s, 1400s, 1500s, into the establishment of America. All right. And now we have NATO, the EU, and these other European powers. Verse 13, and he doeth great wonders, so that he make fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. Now, NATO being the beast, the making fire come down from heaven, that was established as far as the technology happened during World War II. They had the power to drop bombs, major atomic bombs, but NATO did not drop a bomb, or the beast collectively did not drop a bomb until 1995, which, when you look that up, it was the bombing of Herzegovina. Okay? If you look up the 1995 NATO bombing, you'll get that information. And I mentioned this before. Verse 14, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth. So these power structures are deceiving those in the earth. The EU, NATO, America, they're deceiving their citizens. It says by the means of those miracles, by what? By their wars, their ability to drop bombs. Same thing they're doing now with these strikes in Gaza, which includes the state of Israel, and being backed by America, and also their technology. It says, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which is a new way of life. That's what image means, a new way of living. The way you see things and interact in the world around you is changing. It's changed, okay? The world is ever changing, but the way of life and how the governmental system is working in the earth, along with these corporations, and how people actually move in their day-to-day lives is changing. The way they buy and sell, okay? It says, which had the wound by a sword and did live. Verse 15, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak. So now we're seeing that new way of life, that new image emerge, and now it's starting to speak, which is why you have these countries start to introduce these national digital IDs. It says, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast, meaning comply to this new world system, which includes all the laws and policies set forth after the pandemic of 2020, getting these different inoculations, okay? And there's also, things in the work where you have to be inoculated, to do certain things and go places. It says that they should be killed. So you're going to be looked at if you don't comply in this new way of life in this new so-called world. Then you're going to be looked at as expendable and as a threat to other citizens around you. Which is why that big experiment of 2020 with the mask and the distancing 6 feet, that was one big test run. Okay? Now, breaking that down, going back here, the U.S. has not adopted all the things that are going on currently in Europe pertaining to that and what I just broke down in Revelation 13. It says now the EU has national ID cards that support the convergence between biometrics and digital identity, giving relying parties a way to be sure that the people they interact with online are who they claim to be. So they have that in the EU, right? I believe the UK as well. And the next step is going to be getting that device inside your body. Now, there's something that just came out, which is called the AI pen, which is former Apple developers have introduced this technology called the AI pen. Look that up, AI pen, which is pretty much supposed to replace the smartphone. So these devices are, and pretty much, you wear it on your body. You don't have to put it in your pocket, take it out your pocket. Everything is done via AI and Chat GPT. So they want to move away to people actually really getting these devices, not just on their bodies, not just in their pockets, but inside their bodies. Okay? It says, now, face biometrics tie the person applying for a public benefit to an identity that the government already has a record of. In the U.S., mobile driver's licenses represent the opportunity to provide a high assurance mechanism associated with an anchor for trust in the identity. So the selling point for this here in the U.S. is, fraud and other, criminal activities. Okay? A digital tool for a digital job. Okay? The growth of digital government services. I'm just going to go through here. So what you see is now there's a digital world emerging around the world, and now it's emerging here in the U.S. So now, if you have an iPhone, what you can do is you can add your ID, your driver's license, to your smartphone. It says add your driver's license or state ID to Apple Wallet. And I've spoken on this before. But I just want to bring up the information, and this is from their official site. It says securely add your driver's license or state ID to Apple Wallet on your iPhone and Apple Watch. Okay, so this is, all the ways to do it. And this is another step closer, like I said, to the Motb. Having all your information, your ID, your wallet information, okay, all in one place. All right, now let me show you this here. Now this is Google, wallet.google. Add your digital ID to your phone with Google Wallet. Okay, now you can add a digital state ID or driver's license to your Android phone. It's an easy, secure way to store and show your ID. And you can pretty much show your ID in certain states to certain cops. Certain places will accept your ID on your phone. If you have a picture for it, or they can scan your phone. I've even, had to scan the back of my ID before. Okay. Certain jobs, okay, they need you to, have all your credentials. So this is the way that the world is moving. And this is why we here at GMS, we say that the Motb will be the charagma, which is a device cut into the flesh inside your body, because the world is moving to digital IDs. It's moving to digital wallets. Now you're seeing they're pertaining buying and selling with your wallet, all of your cards to your phone. Okay. Right. So they're tying all this together. So I just wanted to bring this information out, this article, Bridging America's Digital Identity Gap. So America is like the last place for pushing these digital IDs. And I could, even the apostles have spoken on this, we could see the charagma, the Motb being introduced overseas in the EU first. And then they start pushing that technology, the charagma, over here in Babylon the Great. And then after that happens, that's really when this war in the Middle East is going to ramp up, World War III, and then the destruction, and then the deliverance of the elect, But hey, with that, I'm going to end it here. I hope this was edifying. All praises go to Yahweh Bashmi Al Shai, Bashon Kakwadash. Till the next time I say, Shalom.